My name's Nathan Askew. I'm a professional hunter in Tanzania, and what we have here is a very young, you guys stop moving around. What we have here is a very young and poached elephant. This is becoming an increasing problem in Tanzania and all across Africa. This elephant is not very old. His ivory amounts to nothing, and he's been shot by poachers in our hunting area. Now, this is part of our responsibility, is to control this area, but the fact of the matter is the poachers and their effort to get this ivory for a little amount of money is outweighing our effort and our funding. We're funded by dollars given by foreign hunters that come here to hunt things like lion and leopard and buffalo and kudu and sable, and we hunt these animals legally on a permit basis. All this money goes into conservation and goes into anti-poaching efforts in large hunting areas like this. Our area here is over 1,500 square miles. Now that's a lot of ground to control, and a lot of that job is left up to the hunting company. Now the other part of it is the responsibility of the game department. My friend Poli Poli is a very experienced game scout. He's been with the department for many years. He's a good friend of mine, and he heads up and helps with a lot of the anti-poaching across Tanzania. Poli Poli, tell us what you think the story here is with this young poached elephant.
What I can say is, this is the real situation how it is in Tanzania now. And what I can say is just to thank these hunting companies for the support they give us in doing patrol around all these areas, not only on this hunting block, but all over Rungwa Kizigo Muhesi Game Reserve. It really pains, for sure, to hunt a small elephant like this.
Yeah, for such a low amount of money. And the fact of the matter is, the situation with some of these people is so bad that they will take a few dollars and kill a immature animal for, this is probably $40 or $60 worth of ivory. The fact is, that's a lot of money in some regions in Africa. These guys are risking their life to do this. So and guys like Poli Poli are risking their life to protect these animals. So education and persistence and correct funding in the right direction is the only thing that's going to stop this from happening. And I just wish that anti-hunting people and non-hunting people and the rest of the world could understand what we do as hunters and conservationists to save these animals, to save these species. This is the prime example. I mean, this thing was wounded by a poacher, not by a hunter. He was shot by a poacher for just a few dollars worth of ivory. In fact, it was wounded and lost by the poacher. They don't even have the effort to follow it up. So this is a bad situation, and it's something that we work on quite a bit, and something that the rest of the world should think about. You know, hunting and poaching are two different things. This elephant was probably killed less than 24 hours ago. What we're doing now is the same operation that poachers would do in removing the tusk, and it's not a nice job to do, especially with a young animal. And in a hunting situation, trophy hunters target mature animals and mature male animals of a certain species. In this situation, you just have unwarranted and uncontrolled killing of anything that can make a profit for the individual poacher. They've got to where they shoot just about anything they see out here. Another thing that a lot of people don't realize about the ivory trade is that this is pretty much like the drug trade. There's you got a low-level person that takes the risk and goes to the field and shoots this animal, the poacher. Then you have a middle-level person that's going to move the ivory out of the wilderness area into a small town, big city, and then you usually have somebody that's in the system of import-export, whether it be a corrupt company, sometimes a government official, sometimes somebody with a lot of power and influence overseas, like in China, where a lot of this ivory is headed. And those people provide the pathway for this ivory to get to the consumer. And the consumer is, of course, a black market consumer that buys a little trinket or some other bullshit thing. And all that can be stopped with proper education. That's really the only way to get the point across. And part of that education is that, yes, hunters, we shoot animals, but hunters pay for conservation and for saving these animals in their habitat to where they can grow up. In much of Africa, dollars from hunting is the only money that goes into funding anti-poaching. The other thing I wish people would realize is that when they get onto my website, or when they sit around and talk about things that are wrong with the world, or when National Geographic talks about Africa, they need to distinguish, and there's a large difference. And these people, or you people back home, you need to be able to distinguish between poaching and hunting. What we're doing is hunting animals legally to save the environment, to save the species, to save the habitat. What's happening here is hunting just for profit, just for gross profit, in an illegal way, and to provide trinkets and other small items to people in some curio shop in China, and it's disgusting. So instead of complaining to me about how I shouldn't be shooting animals, or why my clients shouldn't be shooting animals, maybe you should come over to Africa and do a little anti-poaching yourself. Pick up a gun and come to the bush. Or maybe you should donate your money to people that are working on the ground, like the Game Department of Tanzania, or maybe a wildlife foundation that actually does work on the ground. All you animal rights people that email me telling me how terrible it is that we're hunters, it's not near as terrible as this. And this has no good side to it, and this has no benefit.